Superintendent Anna Alvarado gave the community a brief update at the Freeport School Board meeting after the district is one of 36 schools under federal investigation. The Department of Justice looks into how schools handle lessons involving sexual orientation and gender identity. WIFR's Miriam Niesmeyer attended the meeting to hear more from district leaders and how community members are reacting to the investigation. Miriam?
Daniel, district leaders say they haven't heard back from the DOJ since they received an initial letter last Thursday. At the board meeting, Superintendent Alvarado did share new context behind the investigation and why Freeport may have been included.
We are not destroying any document. We are not going to be hiding anything from them. We will cooperate with full transparency.
Freeport Superintendent Anna Alvarado responds as the district faces a federal review from the Department of Justice.
The 35 public schools that received a letter from the DOJ was at the top says it's a compliance review of Title IX, but at the bottom says investigation, or all recipients of the School Violence Prevention Grant.
Alvarado says district leaders are still trying to understand why certain schools were selected after learning many of the districts receiving letters shared a common connection.
So that was one of the sort of, not an outlier, but one of the trends that was discovered through IASA. They also tried to map it across the state, what counties were identified.
The DOJ investigates 36 public schools in Illinois to determine whether districts have included sexual orientation and gender ideology content in any class for grades pre-K through 12th grade.
One thing that was shared with us today was, if you notice, the list of schools was in alphabetical order. So one school started with letter A, the next one is a B, the next is a C. So we're letter F, which is Freeport School District.
As the district waits for answers,
I don't think it's important to be investigated.
Some community members question the investigation.
Everybody's different, and we should all embrace differentness and learn about it.
Superintendent Alvarado says she will update the community as more information comes available.
Well, WIFR requested an interview with the Freeport School Board's president and the superintendent to discuss the DOJ review. Both declined, citing the ongoing investigation.